Hi, and what we'll cover today is pre and post workout nutrition. Coming up with a good strategy around your chosen sport is the best way to get the best results, the best energy in that chosen sport. So, what we'll cover today is the pre nutrition, the during nutrition, and the post nutrition. So, what I'd say is don't try anything new on a day of a big event. It's important to practice these strategies over and over again so that you almost don't have to think about it. So, starting out with the pre-nutrition, what we'd want to do is start with what is known as a complex carb. So, your complex carbs are your potatoes, your brown pasta, sweet potato, your brown bread, rice, and then your oats too. So these are very slow in breaking down in the body, and slow digesting, and give us a nice stable energy kind of throughout the day. So when carbs are absorbed into the body, they're absorbed as glycogen and stored in the body as glycogen. So glycogen is stored in our muscles. So when we have a food like this, we want to fill up that glycogen store. So when we go into the gym, when we go out onto the track, when we go out onto like the field, that those glycogen stores then are full, and we can maximize our energy going into that sport. So it's really important to get about 60 to 90 grams of carbohydrate and complex carbohydrate before you go into the gym, before you go onto the field, and that can kind of differ in accordance to the intensity of the sport and how much kind of cardio is involved in it as well. So next, what we'll be doing is focusing on pre kind of during the workout. So with pre-workout foods like the hour beforehand, having a complex carb might be very heavy on the stomach, and then when you go into the gym, or if you go out playing a sport, you might feel a bit bloated, and that's not good when it comes to performance. We want you to be able to perform at your greatest and have that all that food absorbed. So the hour beforehand, these are known as kind of simple carbs, so they're absorbed a lot faster, and give us that energy a lot quicker. So that can be fruit smoothies, the Lucasade Sport, Jaffa Cakes, the jellies, or the sports gels. So like when you're in the gym, I don't recommend during carbohydrate foods. Like you don't need carbohydrate foods mid session, just because gym sessions tend to last for an hour and a half anyway. Like if you're into, like, say, the athletic side of stuff, and the long distance, then they can, like, the Lucasades and the gels can come in very handy. I would say if you're going to the gym, then you can have that hour before snack, and that goes for all the performance side of things. You can have that hour before snack, but it's really not needed during the session. What I'd say is the only reason a carbohydrate would be needed during the session is if it's constant over like the hour and a half mark to like 2 hours. So for the longer distance stuff, after about an hour, our glycogen stores, as we talked about previously, the carbohydrate store in our muscles is drained after about an hour of activity. So we want to kind of fill that up as fast as possible, and the easiest way to do that is with one of these choices. It's mainly down, especially with during fueling. Like, it's very down to personal preference. I myself tried a lot of these, and I find like having that sugary taste in your mouth constantly is like, it's very distracting from the performance side of things. I personally prefer like the Lucasade Sport and the gels. The gels can be very hard on the stomach, so again, that's something you need to try and test if you're into the long distance sports. The Lucasade Sport, for me, like, is the best because it has the water side of it too. Like, it's going to hydrate you as well. It has the electrolytes, so if you're performing over about an hour and a half, you need to have a look at electrolyte contents. So yeah, like, it's down to personal preference, and experiment with them all, see how they go, and yeah, then that's how you come up with your strategy. So post workout, then we'd be looking at a protein and a carb source, and there's always kind of like a myth around protein. Like people say that there's a protein window like 20 minutes after your workout. It's not true. Like it doesn't matter how soon to a workout you have your protein. I would recommend having it up to the 2 hour mark. Like you don't want to leave yourself go too long either, because that'll just kind of slow down recovery. But after a workout, you'd want to be looking at the protein and carb source. So what the protein will do is it will recover that muscle that you tore down in training, and lead to better recovery. So you can get back to the gym, you can get back to the track, you can get back to the field a lot quicker the next day. With these examples, you'd be looking at egg, meat, chicken, like a combination of the both would be your legumes, your nuts, your yogurts, and your milks. So the dairy sources are very good at having both protein and carbs. So they can be a good option kind of after a workout too, because they're easy to carry in the car or buy in the shop. So that's why they're good options. The carbohydrate, then again, we talked about the glycogen stores. You want to refill them after your workout so that you have the energy to go again. So we'd be looking at a complex carb again, such as your pastas, rices, and dinner and potatoes. So most dinners would cover the post-workout meal. But like if you're stuck and you're short on time, like a whey protein shake with milk, or just like the protein milks, serve as a really good option too. So what I'd be saying is my main tips is the overall focus should be on how much you're getting throughout the day. Like if you're not eating enough throughout the day, the pre and post workout meals won't do much. It's more about hitting that calorie amount and your performance needs, and then coming up with a strategy around what to eat beforehand, how soon to eat beforehand, what to eat afterwards, and how soon. And that is very dependent on the individual. What I'd say is carbohydrates are really good for fueling that, and in a lot of performance, in a lot of weight loss, they tend to be under eaten in both like carbohydrates. It tends to be protein sources that are maximized with like athletes. So definitely looking to consume a carbohydrate source with each meal is important. In terms of weight loss, like carbohydrate isn't as important as it is in performance, but you still need it, and you still need it for energy in the gym. So don't dramatically reduce carbohydrate in the diet. What I'd say then is just coming up with a strategy, what works best for you. Like the strategy is really important. Like you don't want to be trying something new. For example, if you use the gel before like a race or something like that, and it caused a stomach upset, and you're there in the race and you're unable to continue, like you don't want to do that. You want to be able to practice it in training, practice in your gym sessions, and then be confident in going out, knowing that your nutrition routine is foolproof. So yeah, like that's my main tips. If you've any questions around the performance side of nutrition or your pre and post workout meals, then let me know.